All too often, mobile gaming gets left in the dust and looked down upon. However, there are some fun titles you can play right on your phone that don't get talked about enough. If you're into mobile games, here's 3 reviews from our writers that may help you find the right one. I'm Jeff from GameStinger, and here are 3 mobile game reviews. Also, remember to subscribe and like if you like our content, and check out our podcast that we do every Thursday. Number 3. Diecast: Rules of Chaos. Gameplay-wise, the game is pretty simple in execution. You play on a small 7x7 board with player bases on the east and west, and teleportation portals on the north and south. Portals are two-way, so landing on that square will send you to the other side of the board. This means you're either closer to the base or your opponent's base. You're given dice cards at the beginning to play. Some have specific numbers while others will either run even or odd. These even and odd cards roll randomly, so an even card will result in the dice landing on 2, 4, or 6 obviously. There are also negative cards that can allow you to go back the number of spaces on that card. In addition to these, there are cards for direct attacks, defending against attacks, opening the shop, increasing gold, and so on. The board features traps and monsters to hunt. Landing on a monster prompts a battle where certain dice numbers will result in victory. Upon defeating the monster, you will get a boost to your attack power. Depending on the base you selected before battle, that attack power can be increased higher, which can mean shorter games if you land on some attack spaces. You also have spaces on the board for the shop, food to heal you, magic tomes, and gold chests. We can't forget the bases. Passing through your own base will award some kind of bonus depending on what base it is. However, landing on your opponent's base will result you in being imprisoned for your turn. You can break out by rolling the dice and landing a number that will free you. Once freed, you continue running the board for that number. It may seem a little complicated at first, but it's really straightforward, and is really smooth in its execution. The mobile gaming review verdict for this is an 8 out of 10. Number 2. XCore: Galactic Plague. When we first spotted the game, the objective wasn't too obvious. Sometimes we'll see the screenshots, read the description, and just think, well, I guess that's interesting. After that, you'll end up maybe just downloading it and play it eventually. We'd see XCore on our screens a lot while tapping on other games, but we never really opened it. This week, we finally played it, and it's basically Plague Inc. with aliens. That's it. It features a different interface with the map as the main focus and artwork for news updates. Instead of leaving in all the virus and bacteria icons for upgrading your plague, the developers use icons that were more themed for aliens. Even how transportation carried your plague across countries is the same visually, and via game mechanics. It's Endemic's game with different skin. The only reason it took us a while to figure out what game this reminded us of was, to be honest, we hadn't played Plague Inc. in a while. At least on mobile, right? Looking at the gameplay, Eurogames delivered a good 1 out of 1 rip of Plague Inc. It plays almost like the game, only there are aliens. It isn't buggy and there isn't a bunch of ads, but you're just launching an invasion. Oddly, all the stuff in place with Plague Inc. works for XCore. It really makes me wonder how long they were at the drawing board thinking of a theme that would work. Since we've seen this before and it's essentially just a reskin, the mobile gaming review verdict on this is just a 5 out of 10. Number 1. Chef Wars. This game is all about a young girl named Sylvie who is now an orphan after her legendary chef father died. Raised around cooking all her life, she becomes a chef to uncover details about his death and the plot of his former friend to become famous. That's really it for the story. There's a little heaviness to it considering the light, colorful vibe of the game, but like Super Mario games, Chef Wars has some difficulty under the surface. Mindcake Games calls the game food discovery, and that's actually true. Gameplay involves driving around the world, visiting new cities, and discovering signature produce and foods. However, that's just one of the bricks in the game's foundation. You'll have to compete against other chefs in the game world. That means learning recipes, developing your own specialties, and improving both your skills as a chef and the strength of your dishes. By winning duels, you'll earn money and sometimes an ingredient. Since there's a big but straightforward RPG element to Chef Wars, welcome to the grind. You'll need to improve and recruit chef allies if you want to beat Porcine and get answers. Since this has a lot of things going on underneath the surface, our mobile gaming review verdict comes in at a 9.5 out of 10. So what do you think? Have you played any of these, or what's your favorite mobile game? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to stay up to date with gaming news and updates at GameStinger, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for great videos, news, and gameplay.